A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo, Silver, the Lone Ranger. The first transcontinental railroad was one of the most important steps in the winning of the West. The railroad was of prime importance to the future of the country. But powerful forces, cattlemen, stagecoach lines, and steamship companies opposed it. Outlaw opposition sprang up, and the Lone Ranger was commissioned by the President to lead the fight against the enemies of progress. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for Greg's Corners. Out, Silver! Hi!
Far west of the labor crews that laid the railroad tracks, west of the graders who smoothed the way for the tracks, in fact, in a section of a country where surveyors still had work to do, the town of Greg's Corners nestled among surrounding farms and ranches. Greg, the founder of the town, was a worried man.
You worried?
All right, Hank, let's go at that. I won't complain anymore.
What have you got to complain about, Greg? Here you sit in your office with an iron safe full of cash and a mortgage on every farm around here. And how about me? How about that cattle I lost when the water hole went bad?
How's your wife taking your loss, Hank?
Never mind talking about my wife.
But, Hank,
I'm not blind and dumb. I know what's going on around here. And so does everyone else. I know what happened to the water hole that killed off my cattle.
You know?
So do all the other men around here. It's more than chance it caused so much to happen to all of us.
Hold on,
and stop
Hank.
calling me Hank. My friends can call me that, Greg, but not you.
But we've been friends for years.
Friends. You don't know what real friendship is, Greg. You'll act like a friend, sure you will. You'll act mighty fine and lend a man all the cash he wants on his ranch. You'll take a mortgage on and let him sweat and struggle to fence the place
now,
and build.
You see here, Hank, Newsom, I've got a right to know what stirred you up this way.
Poisoned cattle, that's what stirred me up. The case of Jeb Finney's. It's a cut line fence that led his cattle stray over 100 miles of mountains. In Rooney's case, it's fire that cleaned out his barn.
But how can
you listen to me, Greg? We know the truth now. You did all those things.
What? I did?
You.
That's a lie.
I said you're to blame. Maybe you didn't do it yourself, but you had it done. You let us all build up our land, and now you're taking it away from us.
Hank Newsom, you're a crazy fool if you think such a thing.
I don't think. I know.
You'll eat those words.
Well, you can have your land back. I can't meet the mortgage now. Neither can any of the others. Take the land and the buildings and what's left of the cattle. We're all pulling stakes.
You can't do that. Where'll you go?
What do you care where we go?
Well, you've got a farm. You've got kids to take care of.
So we should stay on the place till you have the fun of throwing us off when the mortgage comes due.
I never said I'd do such a thing.
You don't need to. We're leaving while we still got food left to travel with.
Where's Greg?
Lem.
You dirty, scheming polecat.
Now, Lem.
Lem, what's happened? Have you been hit, too?
Hit a plenty. Look out that window. Look at that smoke. That's my barn and my house that's afire.
Lem, I'm downright sorry.
Sorry. I'm here for just one thing, Greg, and this is it. Yeah.
Lem, I don't blame you.
That's to remember me by, Greg.
Is there any chance of fighting a fire at your place, Lem?
None at all. Me and my folks are taking the 2 horses we managed to save from the barn and our old wagon and heading away from here.
Yeah, me too. Now let's get going. We can pick up a plenty others. We'll make a wagon train for new diggings.
Oh, they all hate me. They all think I want their farms back. If only I could get at the truth.
Greg, are you... Greg, what the hell are you doing there on the floor?
Hello, Watson.
Here, let me give you a hand up. Hey, you've been hurt. What happened, Greg?
I suppose the only reason you're talking civil is because I don't hold a mortgage on your place.
Oh, that. Sit down, Greg. Who did it?
It was Lem, but I don't hold it against him. If he really believes I'm ornery enough to set fire to his place, he's only doing what he thinks is right.
I heard Lem was hit by fire. Greg, I don't like the way things look around here. Everyone says you're driving away so you can get the land.
I know what they're saying.
I don't claim they're right.
Why would I want all that land?
Why would anyone else want to drive them away? Now, I don't say you set the fires and poison the cattle and
No,
fire the
you
crops.
don't say I did all those things, Watson. But you're thinking so.
Of course, it'd be good business. You've got a name as a businessman.
Good business. Good business to drive everyone out of his home, off his land?
If they can't beat the mortgages, you'd get the land back.
What do I want of all the land? What good is the land?
Of course, Greg, it's worth a lot more now than it was when you sold it to the settlers.
Watson, if I could only tell all the men. If I could only find what's behind all the trouble around here.
Yes.
They all think I'm filthy rich with cash. I'm not. I don't have much cash. And I've got heavy debts to meet, too. I wanted the cash for the mortgages, some of it, so as I could meet my debts. But I don't want all that land back.
Well, I can understand, Greg, but all those homesteaders can't. So do you smell smoke?
I guess it's blown over from Lem's place.
Look, it seems to be coming from the other part of this house. Wait to open the door. There it is.
Fire!
Your own house.
Where's Jane? I've got to get Jane. My wife is in there
You
someplace.
get that, I'll find her. I'm younger than you.
Jane! Jane!
Here, this way.
Who's that?
Get him, Tonto.
Me got him.
No, let me go. Let me go. My wife.
She's outside. She's safe. Get out before you're trapped.
This way, Greg. It's all right. I see Jane outside, as the man says.
Who are you? You're masked.
Save that for later. Let's get out of here first.
Well, that's the end of my house. Nothing left but smoldering embers, Jane.
After all the years we lived there. Oh, Greg, now what will we do?
It might be a lot worse, Jane. There's a lot of farms with good houses on them. Your husband owns them all.
But what can...
I guess the mortgage papers are all on file at the clerk's office, aren't they, Greg?
Yes.
Where'd that engine and the masked man go?
I don't know, honey. I don't know where they went.
You think they started the fire?
No, I'm afraid it was someone right around here. Someone that's got to hate me.
That's what I think, Greg. It's probably one of the men that feels you drove him off his land.
Jane, this is one of the times it makes me wonder if all our honest living's been worthwhile. Everyone thinks I'm the lowest, most ornery sort of a skunk that ever lived. I don't have a friend left in the world.
You can count on me, Greg. Of course, I've only lived here for a short time, but I'll stand by you.
Wonder where that engine and the masked man went. They came all of a sudden and disappeared just as fast.
At that moment, the Lone Ranger and Tonto were riding hard across the plain.
Come on, Silver. Waterhole is just ahead.
That pile of rocks, that's where water is.
Good. We've reached it before the prairie wagons. Rein up, Tonto. We'll water our horses. Whoa, Silver. We'll be Now, Tonto, this is the last water hole for quite a distance to the east.
That right?
Most of the people leaving Greg's Corners will stop here and fill their barrels before going on. I want you to wait here, Kimosabe. Meet those people when they come and ask them to stay until I get back.
Where'd you go?
I've got to get to some of the railroad workers east of here. I think I know why Greg's been blamed for a lot of things he didn't do.
Me wait here, then. Keep all settler here.
I'll be back in 2 days at the most. Steady, big fella. Come on, Silver.
Tonto made camp. By nightfall, several families had arrived in prairie wagons. Some of the men wanted to continue on their way. Others, out of curiosity, were willing to remain. Hank and Lem were two of the former.
Yeah, this is probably some more of Greg's work. He wants us to stay here and starve. That's what he wants.
Greg not know about this.
Then why are you holding us here? What if we won't stay?
You stay. Me make sure of that.
Hey, where's the horses?
Yeah, where are they?
Horses? What do you mean?
What do I mean? What did I say? We're in hitch to let the horses graze a while. They was all over there together.
Yeah, I saw them there. Where are they now?
Oh, I thought you knew, Hank. Horses led away by an Indian while you was filling the water barrel.
Led away?
Where to?
Well, we gotta find them.
There's the redskin. He's on that paint horse. That's the one he rode while I led the horses away.
Now it's too late. He's got away. We ain't a fine pack of fools to let him steal our horses right under our noses.
Boys, Lem, Hank, take it easy. It's all right.
All right.
All right, my Aunt Hannah. How are we going to move from here without the horses?
We'll have the horses when it's time to move.
What are you laughing at? I don't see anything funny.
I know who the Indian's partner is. It's the Lone Ranger. I helped Tonto make off with those horses. You see, boys, I know about the Lone Ranger.
Then tell me about him. Who the Sam Hill is he, and why is he interfering in our business?
You'll learn more about the Lone Ranger pretty soon. Now you might just as well relax and help us fix camp here, Lem. Because we're here to stay until the Lone Ranger gets back.
The next day, Greg was in the depths of despair. His wife found it impossible to lift his spirits.
Well, after all, honey, we got a place to live in. Got a lot of places, in fact. We can just about take our choice.
Place to live.
Sure. Well, there's nothing wrong with this place the Cummins built. It's not as big as the one we lost, but it is plenty big enough for the two of us.
Jane, this is Jim Cummings' house. It isn't ours.
But he's left here. Besides, you hold a mortgage, and in a day or so it'll be ours by law.
I wish I'd never heard of a mortgage.
Now, honey.
Oh, what's the use, Jane? I'm about ready to give up and go east with the others. There's nothing left here for me.
You're the biggest landowner in this part of the country.
Land? What good is a lot of land? I wanted people around here. Neighbors, friends. Jane, I'd give every mortgage I hold to know why so many things happen to people. Why they all put the blame on me.
Well, you might as well forget about that. Most everyone is gone from around here now. I wonder who that'd be. Oh, it's Mr. Watson. Well, step inside, Mr. Watson.
Well, you're real cozy in this place. Hello, Craig. I thought I'd drop in and talk a little business with you.
Well, sit down, Watson.
Yeah, thanks.
I suppose you'll be leaving here soon, huh, Mr. Watson?
No, ma'am. As a matter of fact, I like it here. I aim to stay for quite some time.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know why.
Now, come, Greg. Don't take things so hard. Maybe when I've spoken the piece I came here for, you feel more like making plans for the future.
Well, start talking. I'm ready to listen.
You've got a lot of mortgages on land around here.
No denying of that.
Why not let me buy up some of those mortgages you hold?
Why, they're worthless now.
Why are they?
Well, the men that own the land have left here. The mortgages won't ever be paid. You'll have nothing but a lot of land that won't be worth much if it isn't lived on.
You let me worry about that. Yeah, I brought some cash along with me. Take it, Greg. It's yours.
Watson, are you serious about wanting to buy a lot of mortgages?
Sure, why not? I'll get the land real cheap, won't I?
You'll still pay more than it's worth.
It's all right with me.
This cash will tide me over. I'll be able to meet my obligations. Sure, it'll see me through this trouble.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Come on over to the clerk's office. You can sign the mortgages over, and the cash is yours.
In an hour, the exchange was completed, and Watson went to his own office, the owner of many farms and ranches around Greg's Corners. He slammed the door with a hearty laugh.
We put it over, Lefty. Look, here's a bundle of paper.
Great work, Watson. Now I guess you can pay me off.
You can pay it off in good time. Just wait till Greg finds out what a fool he's been. Wait till he finds it out. He just handed me a fortune for almost nothing. I spent less than $2,000, and I've got land that'll bring me over $50,000. When till Greg hears about that?
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Watson was in his office on the second day after he had bought a number of mortgages from Gregg, the founder of Gregg's Corners. The afternoon had dragged slowly, and Watson was about to close his desk when...
Hey, Watson, I got something that might be interesting to you.
Come in, Lefty. Close the door.
Watson, I just came from Hank's place. I went there, like you said, to look it over and check on where the property line was.
How is the property line?
Well, that's all right, but there was an Indian. He came right up there after I got there.
He did. What do you want?
Well, Hank had sent him to get a few things that have been overlooked.
Hank? Hank is 3 days' ride from here by this time.
Yeah, that's what we thought, only he isn't. Neither any of the other settlers.
They're not.
No.
Where are they?
Well, east of here at the water hole. They set up a camp there. They're staying right there.
Why are they?
Well, I don't know.
Find out. Go there and talk to them. Learn what you can. Find out why they didn't move east and how long they plan to stay in that camp. You know, I won't feel easy with those folks near enough to learn what happens in the next few days.
Right, I'll find out all I can about them, Watson.
Hurry it up.
I'll start first thing in the morning.
Morning. You'll start right now.
But it'll be dark before I get there.
What of it? I'll get going. I've got to know about things.
In the newly made camp, the people who had been forced from their homes made the best of their situation. Hank and Lem had already talked to the Lone Ranger and felt confident that he would help them. The Lone Ranger himself was camped a little apart from the others with Tonto. The two sat without a fire and watched the plain. In the moonlight, they finally saw a solitary figure riding toward the wagons. It was Lefty, and the Lone Ranger went forward to meet him.
Whoa there.
Hello there, stranger.
Hi. I was heading this way and saw the campfire here in the camp.
Do you want to stop overnight?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. That'd be downright fine. Just wondered where I was... What the...
What's the matter?
Well, you're masked.
What about it?
Well, nothing. Nothing at all.
There's a tent over this way with an extra space. If you need blankets, there's some you can borrow. We have some other visitors in the tent, men from east of here.
Why, that's fine.
I'll ride over with you. Come on, boy.
Get up there.
Have you started any fires recently?
Huh? What's that?
I thought I saw you hurrying away from Gregg's house just after it started burning.
Why, well, no. That couldn't have been me. Why, it must have been someone else.
Lefty felt increasingly uneasy as he walked toward the tent. There was something about the masked man's manner that caused a peculiar tension. Why had the masked man brought up the fire at Gregg's home? How much proof did that masked man have that Lefty was the one who started the fire?
Can't prove anything. My word against his and Watson will give me an alibi if I need one.
Then the tent flap was thrown back. The masked man stepped in and...
Come in. Boys, here's a man who's going to share the tent with you.
Good. Make yourself at home. My name's Bart. This is my working partner, Jack Stoddard.
Howdy. You can just call me Lefty.
Hey, sit down there, Lefty. It's too early to turn in. We might as well talk for a while.
I'll see you in the morning, Lefty.
That masked man. Who is he, anyway?
He seems to run this camp. He sure learns things fast.
He learns things? What do you mean?
What's more, he makes plans to cash in on them. Oh, Jack, move those instruments aside, will you?
Yeah, sure. Doggone things take up a lot of room.
Say, well, those are survey instruments, aren't they?
Well, what else did you think we'd be carrying?
You two are surveyors?
Oh, I thought the masked man told you. We're working for the railroad.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to check on the route and make sure of it before the grading crew comes along.
It makes me chuckle to think of how all these people hurried from their farms and came here to lay claim to homestead land.
Is that what they've done?
Why else would they be here? They must have learned where the tracks were to be run.
It doesn't take anything out of our pockets, Jack.
No, of course not.
I'd be sort of glad to see these people paid by the railroad. They need the cash.
Sure do.
Anyone with gumption enough to bring a family out in this part of the country and set up a new life deserves all the help they can get.
Hey, just a minute.
What is it, Lefty?
You're talking about here.
Well, sure, what about it?
But, this is northeast of Gregg's Corner.
Sure it is.
Bart, here's another man heard some of them rumors.
Rumors?
Yeah, that's about it, Jack. You see, Lefty, there was some talk for a while about running the railroad through Gregg's Corners.
But now...
Well, if it goes through here, it can't very well go through Gregg's Corners, can it? Would have to cut away toward the south, and no point in that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, I've got to go.
Where you going?
My horse. I'd better go and see to it. See you again.
What about it, Bart? You think he'll leave us?
Wait a second, Jack. That's Lefty, and he's riding fast.
Riding to take news to Gregg's Corners. Now we'll see things happen.
Lefty rode as fast as his horse could travel. He raced up to Watson's house, leaped to the ground, and burst through the door.
Watson, wake up. Wake up fast.
What's the matter?
Oh, matter of plenty.
Lefty.
Yeah, I've just come from where the ranchers are camped. They've skinned us, Watson. Skinned us at your game.
Oh, hold on. What are you talking about? Wait till I get a lamp.
Never mind a lamp.
You act like you've been eating local wheat or something.
Well, I was in that camp. There were survey men there. They had their instruments. The railroad isn't going to come through Greg's Corners at all.
What?
I thought that'd move you.
Not come through Greg's Corners. Well, it's got to come through here. I got my information.
Well, your information was wrong. The settlers are all planning on staking new homesteads near the water hole. Then they can sell rights to the railroad.
I've all that double-crossing. Wait till I get my hands on the man that gave me that information. Listen, are you telling me the truth?
Yeah, I am. Honest, I am.
I've got to work fast. I've got to get to those ranchers. How long will it take?
Well, you can make it by daybreak if you ride hard.
And I'll ride hard.
Maybe they won't sell their land.
They don't own it yet.
But they can...
Get the lamp lighted. Quick about it. I have to find a couple of my law books and get some clothes on. Hurry up. Get my horse saddled.
Yes, sir.
I'll find a way to deal with those poor fools. The day when they can outwit me will never come. I'll put my deal through. You just wait and see.
Same night, there was another caller at another house. Greg was wakened by a tall, masked man who rapped gently on the door.
Oh, sakes alive. What do you want at this time? Masked.
Hello, Greg.
Say, I remember you.
Good.
You helped me when my house took fire.
I want you to take a trip with me, Greg. I have a wagon for you to ride in.
A wagon?
Yes, your own.
Ride? This time of night? Where to? Why?
Now, please save your questions until later. I want you to see what a friend of yours is going to do at daybreak.
Friend? Friend of mine? I don't have any friends left.
You'll have a lot of friends, Greg, before another sunset. Now come with me.
Daybreak in the camp. The ranchers were up with dawn and busy with their campfires and chores. Each family was a small unit of its own, but the people as a whole were surrounded by a circle of their wagons. Lem and Hank were the first to see two men approaching.
Hank, it's Mr. Watson.
Watson? So it is. Now, there's a fine man for you. He's heard we're here, so he's come to see how we're getting along. Who's that with him?
Oh, that's the critter that's been hanging around his office in Greg's Corners. Guess Watson sort of pays him for a handyman job.
Hi there, Mr. Watson.
Hi there, boys.
How do you know we were here?
News travels fast, Lem. What are you folks planning to do? Set up a new town here?
Well, we don't know.
Well, boys, I brought some mighty fine news for you.
How's that?
I dealt with Greg.
Good.
I know you people put a lot of time and work into your farms, and I hate to see you lose them to that old skinflint.
We did lose him.
Sure we did. The mortgages weren't paid off, so he took our farms and ranches.
Well, he hasn't got them now. Boys, get everyone together so I can tell them the story once for everyone. What I've got to say will be a big surprise.
Hey, Maggie!
While the ranchers convened, a wagon drew up outside the circle of prairie schooners. Greg rode in the wagon. The Lone Ranger rode alongside. Tonto approached from a nearby tent.
Watson got all people together now.
And we're just in time. How about the men in the tent, Tonto?
Those fellows ready to go to Greg Corner to make survey. They're ready to do what you say.
If what you told me is the truth...
You'll see it is, Greg. Come with us so we can hear what Watson says.
Right over here. We're all here now, Mr. Watson.
All right, then, Lem. Now, folks, I knew how you felt about your property. You hated to leave it, but you had no choice.
Greg did everything he could to ruin us so we couldn't pay off our mortgages.
Well, folks, I bought all those mortgages from Greg.
What?
Yes, sir. I've got them right here. I become the owner of every one of your farms. Now, how would you like to get back there?
Back there?
Good. I can't give you the farms for nothing, but each of you can stake the land he's on here. You can lay claim to it, then swap with me.
You mean to say you will give us our own land back for whatever we stake here?
That's what I'll do.
Well, why can't you just give us the land without bother of staking claim to it?
It's all got to be done legal, boys. You wouldn't want it any other way, would you?
Well, no, Mr. Watson.
I've got papers all made out. You can sign them now, then file your right to this land when we get to Greg's Corners. Well, step up, boys, one at a time, and I'll give you the mortgage as you sign the agreements.
He's almost through now, Greg.
That dirty schemer.
Tonto, bring out Bart and Jack.
We get it.
Tell them it's time for the showdown. Come on, Greg. We're going to tell your friend just where they stand.
Right.
Lem, Hank, here's your real friend. You too, Lefty. We want you in on this. Man, you've been tricked by that man named Watson.
Trick! Trick my eye. He gave us back our land.
Only because Lefty heard those two surveyors talking last night. Lefty was made to think the railroad was going to cross here instead of in Greg's Corner.
Now, you see here.
Watson wanted your land. It was Watson who hired Lefty to do everything he could do to harm you. And Watson bought the mortgages after he'd broken Greg. Now, Watson thinks the railroad is to cross here. So he's arranged a deal his own get this land and you get off of it.
It's not true. It's true as gospel.
I saw Lefty set fire to Greg's house. If you need more proof than that, compare his boots with the footprints near the woodshed where the fire got underway. As for you, Watson, meet two friends of mine, surveyors for the railroad.
I talked with your pal last night, Watson.
Yep, so did I. Now, if all you people are ready to leave here, we'll go back to Greg's Corners with you. That's where we have to check on that survey.
Maybe now that you own your farms, you can sell part of them at a neat figure.
It's a frame-up. I've been tricked. Wait. You men give me back those mortgages.
Give them back. There's nothing doing.
It'd be a hard time proving you're a crook, Watson, so you'll miss a trip to jail. But I think you've paid in cash for the damage you did.
Boys, believe me, I never raised a hand against you.
We can see it now, Greg.
Greg, forgive me for hitting you. I never knew that
Shucks, that's all right, Lem.
Boys, pack up the wagons. Pack things for travel. We're all going back home.
And the first thing we gotta do is show Greg we're sorry for what we thought by rebuilding his house.
Boys, just wait till Jane hears of this. This is the happiest day of my life. Say, where's that Lone Ranger? I've got to thank him.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
You've been listening to the OTR Gold Network. Find more classic radio at otrgold.com.